Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Boo Got the cat that hands your big money fight back. And to my left over here is the main man, Dinero, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo that won't die. Then the ideas run and spice your content than your girls' only fans. What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, let's get right into it. So, I'm going to put you guys on game that I know for a fact no other boxing commentator has. I've watched hours and hours and hours of all these different boxing channels from both the super professionals, the Teddy Atlases, the Paulo Malignaggi's, the Pro Box TV, to all the YouTube boxing channels. I watch a lot of those guys. Not one of them is going to bring you the point that I'm going to bring you right now. So, a lot of people have a problem with Canelo saying, I want $150 million to $200 million to fight David Benavidez. Now, I was one of the first people that said, hey, look, if they go to Saudi Arabia, it can happen. Shortly after that, if you watch when we posted the video, the next day, you'll see the Pro Box TVs and the other channels basically mimic. I'm not saying they watch my channel, not saying that at all, but I'm saying is we came first. With that being said, let me take you guys back 10, 15 years. Now, someone might be saying, my man, why are you going back so far? What are you trying to say here? Let's go and really catch game here. When Canelo Alvarez was 23 years old, which was 11 years ago, he fought the pound for pound best boxer at that time, Floyd Money Mayweather. Now, at that time, Floyd Mayweather was not exactly at the end of his career, but he was on his way. He was en route, later part of his career. And at that time, many of us that saw that fight saw, hey, look, Canelo Alvarez got schooled. He got taught a boxing lesson. I'll be honest with you, one of his more embarrassing performances. Now, listen, again, Floyd was the pound-for-pound best boxer on the planet at that time. So, nobody can really hate that much. But listen, it happened. It is what it is. Let's move past it. Why am I bringing this fight up? So, after that fight, many people, and you're not going to find one boxing commentator that's going to say that Canelo Alvarez didn't get better after that. He learned a lesson. He learned, hey, look, it's not all about this intense aggressiveness to go after and go for the knockout and blah, blah, blah. In fact, after that is when Canelo Alvarez started working on some of his defensive skills. Now, again, why am I bringing this up? I'm going to say what no one else has been said. Not only did Canelo Alvarez learn this defensive or a more defensive fighting style from Floyd, but he also learned the business side. What do I mean by that? So let me ask you a question that no other boxing commentator out there is asking. People are saying, oh, he should fight him. He's just mandatory. I don't know why he's making all these excuses and blah, blah, blah. Listen, how many years did we wait for Floyd to fight Manny Pacquiao? Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the man dodged. I'm not here to make that argument. Conversation for a completely separate day. What I'm here to tell you is for about 4, 5, 6 years, we didn't get that fight. And it just got built up more and more and more and more and more. Now, if you go back and watch the previous video that we did on this about a week ago, I said, and I told everybody, which a lot of you commented on live, a lot of you agreed with me. Some of you disagreed with me where I said, look, I don't think he's ducking him. I think he's strategically trying to build a fight, much in the way that Floyd did with Manny Pacquiao. So going back to my little history lesson, that's one of the things that Canelo Alvarez learned from Floyd. He learned, listen, if you tease people, if you make them think that you're doing all this, it builds up the fight more and more. People are ravaging for it. People are like, get in there. He deserves it. Blah, 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 blah. Proving my point. Once Canelo took that L, his first L, to Floyd Mayweather, he learned a number of things. He learned to be not as aggressive, he learned to be a little bit more of a defensive boxer, but he learned the business side. And as the person who, at that time, even when he took that loss to Floyd, was going to be the next face. Everybody was saying it. After Floyd retires, it's definitely the crown is definitely going to go to Canelo. So Canelo, of course, is going to pick up not just the some of the fighting lessons that he learned from Floyd, but also the business side. And let's keep it honest. He's doing it the same way that back then Floyd was big time and everybody telling people, go out there and get a bigger name, fight more people. Who have he's fought? Almost to a T, Canelo has done. And listen,
whether you like the tactic or not, my question is, how badly do you guys want the David Benavidez fight? Pretty badly, right? So that proves it's working. You don't have to like it, but you can't deny its effectiveness. Essentially, at the latter part of his career, Floyd Mayweather became the bad guy. He became the villain of the story. In fact, if you watch the prologue after his fight with Manny Pacquiao, which in his contract, Floyd Mayweather and his team were allowed to edit the video as much as they possibly could. It was basically under their artistic view, artistic leadership that view came about. And there's a lot of villain type music in that, which I'll be honest with you, Floyd did in order to compound the effect of, I don't care what y'all say. It's me. I get to do what I want. I'm the bad guy. I don't give a fuck. Which, let's be honest, it's exactly what Canelo Alvarez is doing now. He's saying, look, I'm Mr. Big Shot. I'm Mr. Money. I could do whatever I want. So listen, hate it all you want, but it is what it is. The man is taking the villain role. He doesn't care. Let's be honest. At this point, I said it on the last video. I think the man's nearing, or at least eyeballing, the exit. The exit's coming up on when he wants to retire. I see him eyeballing, so I see, hey, a big cash out. In the same way that Floyd Mayweather said, in fact, Floyd Mayweather said he wanted $100 million to fight Pacquiao. And people called him crazy back then. No way you're going to get that money. And what ended up happening? In that prologue video, you guys can go back and watch it. It's still on YouTube. Floyd literally holds up the $100 million check. Now, I'm not here to argue, is Floyd worth more than Canelo? I'm not here to argue that shit. I'm saying look at the tactics. Look at the way that these people that are the faces manage and control and move the narrative. It's smart. Whether you like it or not, it's smart. Now, again, listen, I said in the last video, and I'm going to hold to it because a lot of you guys criticize me. If Canelo doesn't fight him this September, I will consider it a duck. At this point, I'm not willing to call it a duck because even a lot of people, a lot of the professional boxing commentators saying, look, if he fights him this year, we'll give him credit. So I'm on that same line. Listen, if he fights him in September, if he fights Munguia here in May, the fight that's already set up, fights him, and then at that fight he announces, hey, I'm fighting David Benavidez, or even just says, hey, David Benavidez, where are you? Something alluding to he's going to fight him in September. Can you call it a duck? Can you call it a duck if he's saying I'm going to fight him at the end of the year? But if he doesn't, I'll jump on the bandwagon and that he's ducking. At the very, very least, it's not a good look right now, but hey, it is what it is. Now, one thing I was talking to my co-host about before we jumped on, David Benavidez is a certain percentage of fault for the things that he did that allowed Canelo Alvarez to be undisputed champion. But we'll get into that in a minute. What do you think about all that, my man?
I think for a long time coming now, I think Canelo has been entering his mad villain phase almost like his name was Dumoulin. That's a deep cut reference for those of you that don't get that. Anyways, the fact of the matter is Canelo's been facing like eons and eons of criticism for like what? It's been 10 years that he's been facing criticism now for every little thing that he does. First, it was, and I've heard this from one of my coworkers that are like big boxing fans, is that he doesn't fight like a Mexican anymore. He doesn't stand and bang. He doesn't go in and try and take everything out. And my argument has always been, okay, yeah, but how many of those fighters that have been doing that have actually done anything successful? The fact that he's gotten more defensive in his boxing style, that he picks and chooses his fights, not just metaphorically as in picking his fights with Dave Benavidez or not, or picking his battles inside the actual physical ring, is it's gotten his fight acumen a little bit better. From all of his, I'm only gonna fight in the MGM Grand and for this much dollars, or hell, even this David Benavidez one, which is recently, okay, it was 150 million, now it's 200 million. And the fact that he was dangling the belt over him over and over again, saying, okay, you need to beat Plant first. Okay, you need to beat this guy first. Okay, I don't really consider you any more of a draw. I get nothing out of this fight. But if a promoter, not saying David, I think it was originally WWE's team, but then he backtracked and said, any promoter that's willing to pony up $150 million or hell, $200 million, then we'll talk about the fight. I think it is a amalgamation of the criticism getting to him for a number of things. And again, Teddy Atlas and Paulo Malignaggi, again, they never once gave him an inch nor quarter of criticism against him. No matter what he does, the man is a villain. And to be honest, at some point, Canelo kind of has a chip on his shoulder about that. And to be honest, I can't blame the man. I can't blame the man if every single person is criticizing you for every single little thing that you're doing. And now he's like, all right, fuck it. I am the villain. I am that guy. I'm every bit as evil as you think I am. You want the fight? Cool. Give me money for that. And to be honest, to some extent,
I hate it. I hate it from a boxing fan perspective because, again, at the end of the day, I also want to see the fight. I don't necessarily think Canelo is the villain, but to be honest, everybody paints him out to be such as one. So if he's like, all right, if I'm the villain, all right, pay up money to see me. And to be honest, I can kind of understand that to an extent. I think on another level, I think Saudi Arabia is also trying to prep themselves out to be the big fight central of the world. Because again, this theory fight between David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez has been set. And also the Bivol versus, who's Bivol fighting again? Better be a fight, and the Zhang Zhang and Deontay Wilder fight is also set to be on the undercard for that same fight. So the fact of the matter is, Saudi Arabia has got that money, and to be honest, I wouldn't put it past Canelo to have planned that as a forethought of, I don't think I'm actually really gonna get a fight out of Benavidez. I think he was dangling it for him for God knows how long, teasing him, trying to get in a roundabout way of saying, I don't want money from Saudi Arabia, but look, if David Benavidez wants to fight in Saudi Arabia and Saudi Arabia comes to me with that offer, I'm not going to not take it. So I think he was trying to force David Benavidez to be hungry enough, to be desperate enough to try and find some way for Canelo to take up the fight. Basically making David Benavidez do all the work to set up the fight, and all Canelo Alvarez had to do was pick up his feet, relax, and wait for the phone to ring. At the end of the day, that's what I think. But maybe I'm crazy. What do you think about that? Am I off of my assessment or no?
I'll be honest with you, bro. I think you're right about some things. I think you're wrong about other things. I think, given the guy, listen, if you look at the way that Eddie Reynoso and Canelo have moved, the financials have been strategic, man. Super strategic. All the people that he's faced for the sizable checks that my man has gotten, you can't deny that it's strategic. So I do think that this was planned, not in a dangling in front of David Benavidez. Because David Benavidez, nor his promoters could pay Canelo Alvarez 150 million, even if they wanted to. Turkey Ali Sheikh is the only individual that has that type of money. That type of power to be able to do it. So I think it was very strategic. With that being said, listen, I alluded to something earlier. To a certain degree, man, you guys got to be mad at David Benavidez. David Benavidez was a WBC champion twice. Lost it once because he was over the weight limit. Second time he lost it due to recreational use of, low sum. So listen, Canelo would never be able to call himself the undisputed champion in the 168-pound weight division if it wasn't for David Benavidez fucking up twice. Not just once, but twice. And first one you say maybe, he just had like a really bad camp. Maybe he was going through something. It was during COVID. Maybe, he just couldn't get in the workouts they wanted to. Okay. The second one was due to recreational drug use. Like, it's just, whose fault is that? You guys got to blame Devin. And listen, I know a lot of people are going to come on here and say, oh, you're just fucking covering for Canelo. Look, I'm not, bro. I want the fight too. And again, if he doesn't fight in September, I will officially call it a duck. So I'm with you guys. All I'm saying is everyone has said it was never going to happen. Again, go back 2-3 months. Everybody was saying, look, it's not going to happen in May. All the professional boxing commentators were saying it's not going to happen in May, but it'll probably happen in September. Even David Benavidez' own family said, look, it's not going to be in May. If it happens, it's going to be in September. That's their own words. So the reason I'm not ready to call it duck is because everyone laid out the time limit before I even said anything about it. Everyone laid out the time limit, and I agree with them. It sounds about right. So he's still got time. He's still got time to organize a fight. Realistically, you need at least 2 months to get ready. So we're going to say July. If he doesn't have it set by July, I'll call it a duck. Or if he announces and it's somebody else, it's somebody other than David, I'll call it a duck. So no, I'm not here to fucking, like I told you guys, we're going to be as unbiased as possible when it comes to this shit. The only reason I'm not willing to call it duck is because, again, literally every other boxing commentator said the same thing that I've said, is that, look, if he gets it done in September, if he sets up the fight, we'll give him all the credit in the world. Okay, I'm willing to do the same. If he doesn't, I will be on the same train with you guys saying the same goddamn thing that he's ducking. But you can't say before you even give the man a chance to duck or not duck that he's ducking. You got to give him a chance. Let's see how it goes. And listen, again, I'll be honest with you. I don't know, even with Turkey Ali Sheikh, I don't know if he's going to get the 150, 200 million. I don't know if he's going to get that. He might get 100. He might get 100 million. That I believe is possible. 150, 200, he's never going to get 200. My personal opinion. With that being said, listen, he might not. But regardless of the scenario, there's too many factors that have gone into this that you guys have not taken into question. Again, when all the other boxing channels start talking about what I just talked about, because I guarantee you it's going to become a talking point, remember where you got it first. I was the first one to tell y'all he learned not just the boxing lessons, but he learned the business side from the guy that originally started the game, Floyd Mayweather. So if you guys want to be mad, hey man, just be mad, be just as mad at Floyd. Because again, how long did we wait for that fight? 4, 5, 6 years. And every single time that he was asked, and there's a bunch of interviews, go back there on YouTube, you can watch them right now. Go back and watch them. You can see he's asked, why are you not fighting Manny Pacquiao? And you hear all the excuses from Floyd. Every single one. Just like y'all say, yeah, you guys are hearing every excuse from Canelo. So my thing is, learn the history. Learn the history. Again, we'll see. If he fights him in September, not a duck. If he doesn't fight him in December, I'll call it a duck. Anything else you want to add, my man?
I think that's it for me.
And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.